Hey everybody, it's Michael from DC Hidden Gems, and I am so glad you're here today joining me for Villa Vie Vibes number uno. This is a whole new thing that we're trying, and we'll do it periodically if you care about it. So please give us comments on what you like and what you don't, because obviously we do this to make sure we get things out there that matter and that are relevant and that you actually want to see. But the idea of this is unlike our traditional videos where we're very focused on something either outside the port or on the ship, or we're telling a very specific story. This is going to be a format that kind of stays consistent, but then gets updated regularly. So the idea here is we're just going to kind of vibe on things Villa Vie that are on our mind. And the format, first of all, is a personal update. We'll share personal news with you, things that we're thinking about in terms of Chris and I, anything that's going on in terms of challenges, triumphs, how our life's going, and just stuff about us. So that's the personal update. The second one is a Villa Vie topic. This is things that we'll talk about, like daily life on the ship, controversial topics like, hey, how are things going? What's going on, if anything, in terms of Villa Vie news? And you know how that goes sometimes. Ship amenities, things that are going on around the ship in terms of music or the pools or entertainment or that kind of stuff. Community and social life, what's happening with us and our neighbors? What are we doing? What are people thinking about and doing? How are we coming together? And then last, travel tips. You know, is there anything related to what we're doing on Villa Vie that would be interesting or that we want to incorporate? And then the third and final section is kind of our upcoming adventures. We'll kind of tell you from here, here's where we're going, here's what we're excited about, and here's what we're going to be sharing with you. So it'll be a regular format that of course changes every time, because it's kind of a weekend update, if you will, of kind of what's going on. And again, I'll be sharing it with you periodically. So let's start. Villa Vie Vibes number one, personal update. We've just completed the holiday season, and of course we got on the ship right before Thanksgiving, and we've had a great holiday season. We actually had Thanksgiving very quickly after we got on the ship with new friends that we really enjoyed spending time with. Of course, we had a traditional American feast, with turkey and cranberry sauce and dressing and that kind of stuff. And we really had time to enjoy ourselves and be thankful for the life that we've had. So quickly after we got on, we had Thanksgiving. We missed family and friends. So I'm not going to lie, it was different being on the ship. As much as we enjoyed it, as much as the food was good and the company was good, we missed our friends, we missed our traditions. So we did talk to folks via FaceTime and that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to lie, it's not the same. And there's nothing like traditions, and we missed some of those. But we did okay, and we kind of made up for it by talking to other folks. There was a lot going on as well after Thanksgiving for Christmas time, Hanukkah, and we had a Christmas tree decorating contest, a lot of things around the ship. So it was very festive. We even had a Christmas lighting and a tree judging and other things that really brought the community together. It was different, again, being on the ship, and we had a small Christmas tree instead of our big Christmas tree at home. We had a different way of celebrating our individual kind of traditions between Chris and I, but we really enjoyed it. Obviously, the weather was very different too, because right now we're down in South America instead of in Washington, D.C., where it was, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. We're down here in the sunshine and shorts, but it was nice. So the holiday season aboard Villa Vie, especially for its inaugural holiday season, we really enjoyed. We had a lot of new residents come on board. That was the other thing that was kind of big in Panama City. We had about 100 more people come on board. That really changed the vibe on the ship. There was more people, there were new people, and we liked it. They opened up more venues because obviously there's critical mass here. We still don't have all that we want, but we're going to continue to grow. And of course, people come on and off. So with new residents came new friends, new people to meet. We've really enjoyed spending some time with the new folks. And I've really very much appreciated kind of filling out the ship a little bit and kind of seeing more people around. It's still a big enough ship to where we have room. And of course, we have our room here that we can come to ourselves. So it's not at all crowded, and there's definitely room for more, but it was nice having a little more life on the ship. we're looking forward soon to some family time. It's still a couple of 3 months away, but we'll be going back home in the next couple of months and excited to get home for a while to Washington and do some family things, reconnecting with family, going to a special event that we'll tell you about later. And so, we're having a really great time and we're enjoying this newfound way of being. We really don't have any regret. Do have a little missing of our family and our usual kind of routines, especially around the holidays. But overall, we're having fun, and that's our update. For Villa Vie update, I thought I would do a little bit of discussion about comparing Villa Vie to Viking. Many of you know we've had our YouTube for a while. We were pretty big cruisers before we came to Villa Vie, which is part of why we came to Villa Vie. We enjoy it. But we cruised for 20 plus years and had done a variety of things. But the last few years of our travels, as we slow traveled especially, we were spending most of our cruise time on either Viking or Azamara. And for Viking, it was a lot of ocean and some river. And of course, Azamara is ocean. So we reflected on that a little bit and said, okay, we've talked about this is not Viking in some of our videos before. So I kind of wanted to give you a lowdown on Villa Vie versus Viking. So that's the update in the Villa Vie section today. I guess, the first thing I would say is there's a transition from commercial cruising, which of course Viking is, to residential cruising. It's just a different way of being. You have a different feeling on the ship. The same people are here. Of course, we talked about the fact that the ship is filling up, but there's been less people on board. And then we have a different feeling because, of course, this is now our room. This is our space. We look at it and feel differently than a place that we're coming into even for a little while. So there's clearly a difference in terms of just kind of the headset we have between coming on a commercial cruise and Villa Vie, the residential cruise. So that clearly is a part of it. The other thing that, clearly comes to light is the fact that there are differences between the ship itself. So it's not about how we feel coming on to a residential versus commercial cruise, but they're different ships. This is an older ship. Clearly, it's 30 years old. Viking was brand new. These are brand new built ships, very much my taste, very elegant, kind of understated, wide open, pristine, modern, that kind of thing. So there's a very different feel between a Viking ship, especially an ocean ship, but both river and ocean, and the older ship here. So you definitely have a difference. Viking's brand new, Villa Vie's older. In terms of just the general ship, even the decor, of course, the ship has some wear and tear on it. You can walk for a little while and kind of cross 3 or 4 different carpet patterns, which does not happen on Viking because it was, of course, brand new and built and very aligned kind of with the way it was designed. So there are definitely some nuances. I don't miss Viking, but it's nicer. Now, I'm also not paying for Viking. It's not mine. So there are some differences between the ship. The decor is different, of course, kind of a Norwegian modern versus a traditional. The food, I got to tell you, is very similar. So, our food on this ship has been a highlight, and we've really, really enjoyed it so much more than we thought. The cabin size, now that we've got this new cabin, it's a little bigger than some of the ones that we had on Viking. But of course, our previous cabin and many of the cabins on the ship are smaller on Villa Vie, and that's just because it's a smaller ship and an older ship. So, there are definitely some cabin nuances. And of course, the big difference is the community. We're here with residents, not other cruisers, people that are here long-term, people that we share community and obviously common interest around Villa Vie on. So as you look at kind of that, those are a lot of the differences. If you think about it, there's clearly differences in the age and the style of the ship. There's clearly differences in kind of who's on the ship. And then there's clearly differences in our headset. When we were on Viking, maybe the longest we stayed was 30 or 40 days. So we very much had to get the tour done that we had planned and then get off. Now this is something that we will continue to be on. So it's different. The other thing is, obviously, depending on how you look at it, it's a very different cost proposition. Now, there's no denying that one cruise on Viking is less expensive than, all of Villa Vie and what you do there for the most part. Because number one, if you have an ownership option, it's of course a wholly different proposition. But the other thing is segments on Villa Vie tend to be longer. And of course, there's some difference in what's provided, what it costs, how you pay for it, and that kind of thing. So, it's really a little bit apples and oranges. But when I step back, there's no denying Viking ships are nicer, they're newer, and they have an elegance about them that we just love. But the verdict is we're really digging this. And it's, all the variables we talked about. So it's not an apples to oranges. Clearly, a brand new Viking ship, hands down, would win in terms of just the ship. But it's way beyond the ship for us. It's the community, it's the feeling, it's the vibe, it's everything we've said. Now, that's working for us. Of course, different people have different ways of traveling. And of course, if we were just going to go on for 30 days or so, maybe I'd feel differently. For us as residential cruisers and permanently on here, this is something that works for us, that we can afford and that we can actually make happen versus staying on Viking for the rest of our lives, which I think not only would be very expensive for us, but could get repetitive because of the way even their world cruises go for 155 days. At some point, they do get repetitive. So Viking versus Villa Vie, from Hidden Gems perspective, we're with Villa Vie. We love Viking, we love Azamara, but that's kind of where we are. We've got a different headset on this thing, and we're really having fun with it. Now, what's up next is the third section. And what's up next is we've gotten through Ecuador and we're into Peru. And Peru is just so intriguing to us. There's so much to do and see on the Peruvian coast. We have smaller ports. We have different adventures that go in through Peru than just the traditional places like Lima. We will be going to Lima. We'll have some great experiences there. A lot of people going to Machu Picchu. That's a trip, of course, that requires more travel off the boat, but a lot of people doing that, a lot of excitement about that, and a lot of fun. And then Chile is coming up, one of the most beautiful countries there is. So we're so excited about, continuing our journey, really soaking up and sharing Peru with you coming up soon, and then heading into Chile. So that is the first kind of episode of Villa Vie Vibes. Again, we hope you'll give us any feedback you have for this. Do you care? Do you not? What would you do more, less, or different? Please give me that feedback in the comments, and we would love to hear it. That said, at this point, it's going to be Villa Vie out. See you next time, and take care. Bye.